This video accompanies Learning IoT with Python and Raspberry Pi. In this video, you will learn how to print out strings, the values of variables, integers, floating point numbers, and so on. In addition, you will learn how to use escape characters to print a tab, a new line, quotation marks, and a backslash. We'll use a built-in print function to print out to the Python shell. The expression built in means that the print function is always available. Because Python is a case-sensitive programming language, print must be typed in as it appears here. That is to say, in lowercase. In order to call the print function, print must be followed by parentheses. When no argument is passed to the print function, as in the first print function call, a new line will be printed out. The term argument means the value that is passed to a function. The print function can take one argument or multiple arguments. When you type in the print function with no argument, a new line is printed out. In the second print function call, the string Learning IoT is printed out. In the third print function call, the string Learning IoT and the integer 45 are printed out. You can also print out the values of variables. Suppose we assign the floating point number 7.47 to the variable speed and the string bipedal to the variable robot. Speed and robot can be printed out using a print function call of the form print open parenthesis speed comma robot close parenthesis. Escape characters enable the programmer to print out a tab, a new line, a double quotation mark, a single quotation mark, or a backslash. \T for tab, \N for new line, \, double quotation mark for double quotation mark, \, single quotation mark for single quotation mark, and \, to print out a backslash. Suppose you wish to print out the following string as shown. They'll arrive at the Oort cloud in about 2 weeks, including the quotation marks and the apostrophe. Python allows strings to be enclosed either in double quotation marks or in single quotation marks, but the closing quotation mark must match the starting quotation mark. In order to print out this string exactly as shown, you will need an escape character for either the double quotation mark or for the apostrophe. Suppose you delimit the string with double quotation marks. Then an escape character will be needed for the double quotation marks that are to be printed out. The first quotation mark signals the beginning of the string. The backslash indicates an escape character. In this case, the backslash indicates that the next double quotation mark is part of the string and does not signal the end of the string. No escape character is needed for the apostrophe because the double quotation mark is interpreted as delimiting the string rather than a single quotation mark. The next backslash indicates that the double quotation mark that immediately follows the backslash is part of the string, and the final double quotation mark delimits the string. Suppose you delimit the string with single quotation marks. Then an escape character will be needed for the apostrophe that is to be printed out. The single quotation mark signals the beginning of the string. The double quotation mark that immediately follows it is interpreted as part of the string. An escape character must be used for the apostrophe because it would otherwise be interpreted as delimiting the string. The second double quotation mark is interpreted as part of the string, and the final single quotation mark delimits the string. Suppose we wish to print out the following 2 lines, one for the money, 2 for the show, using one print function call and with the second line tabbed over. Because we wish for 2 for the show to appear on the following line, the new line escape character must immediately follow 1 for the money. Moreover, we wish to tab over 2 for the show, which is why the tab escape character immediately precedes 2 for the show. We wish to print out the following string exactly as shown. Enter \term to terminate. The 2 backslashes would cause a single backslash to be printed out. Had the second backslash been omitted, then the \term would be interpreted as a tab followed by instead of the desired output with \term. When you use a print function, whatever arguments you pass are by default separated by a space when they are printed out. The print function also by default outputs a new line character at the end. This is why a print function call with no arguments prints out a new line. Here we display the form of a print function call that prints out multiple arguments and makes explicit the values used for the identifier sep and the identifier end. Instead of printing output using the default values of a space for the identifier sep and a new line for the identifier end, you may pass whatever strings you wish. These values are passed by keyword argument, which means that you use the syntax sep equals followed by the separator you wish to use, and end equals followed by the end of output you wish to use. The keyword arguments for sep and end must follow the positional arguments. This print function call prints out the values of the variables w, x, y, and z using an equal sign as a separator and an exclamation point as the end of output. We'll use this print function call in a script. This script will display the binary string, octal string, and hexadecimal string of the integer 17. We begin by assigning 17 to w. We pass w to the built-in bin function and assign the string that is returned to x. We'll assign the string returned by the built-in oct function to y, and the string returned by the built-in hex function to z. The first print function call will print out the string converting with a space. An empty string is passed for end, and nothing is passed for sep. The second print function call will print out the values of the variables w, x, y, and z, separating the values with an equal sign, and it will print out an exclamation point at the end. We'll save this script as converter.py and we'll run it. Because an empty string was passed for end in the first print function call, a new line was not printed out, and the output of the second print function call appears on the same line as the output of the first print function call. To find links where you can buy Learning IoT with Python and Raspberry Pi, go to learningiot.net.